feeling a little ranty about this year's Spotify Wrapped. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Is this the end of Spotify? Is this the end of Spotify Wrapped, at least? I would love to know your thoughts about this whole thing, because Spotify Wrapped was a little bit different this year in that the reception seems to have been more negative than positive from Spotify users. Like some of y'all probably did, I saw this tweet on my timeline. Spotify Wrapped is so lazy this year. They didn't tell me whether that gay little town in Vermont still matches my music taste. And that's so true. When I read that, I was thinking, yeah, why does Spotify Wrapped feel so different this year? So last year I did a live stream about Spotify Wrapped and my Spotify Wrapped, and I tried to get submissions from my friends and you guys to review live and talk about the music of the year. I was really excited about it. I don't think many people watched, but I remember it was a fun time to be live chatting about what auras people were getting in genres and what town and what top artists and songs as usual. And it feels like for the past few years, people have been pretty excited about Spotify Wraps. The competitors have been trying to catch up. I know Apple Music and YouTube Music now does Wrapped like releases every year too. This year, I was excited leading up to it. The promos had been kind of eating. They had been doing the Spotify logo inspired by different big artist of the year. I was considering doing another live stream about it, having fun with it with everybody. But then the day came and it was a flop. There were a lot less like fun categories, like the little town thing, which I feel like people made fun of at the time, but it was kind of charming. And then there was like an aura color last year. I think there was something tied with zodiac signs. I don't quite remember. Or maybe in the past there has been. There wasn't like as clear of genre breakdowns. It feels like the genres became this word salad of nonsense that you could never use to describe your music taste because it would just make no sense to whoever you're talking to. Pink Pilates princess, anyone? And on top of all of this, the data seemed kind of off. There were a lot of people on my timeline complaining about how the amount of songs versus their minutes, and the order of your top 100 songs was totally off to the point where I think Spotify removed, because if you go to your Spotify Wrapped playlist that has your top 100 songs of the year, this year you were able to click on to get more info on it, and it would show you a little graphic of what number it was. And apparently the playlist was not in order for some people, and at a certain point when you click on the song to show what number it was, the numbers disappeared. So there was a lot of weird stuff happening with the data too, not just less features or less personalized things that made any kind of sense. I still don't know to this day, a week later or whatever, what went on with the data, if things were wrong, if things were corrected. I don't know. Also, I noticed this thing they were doing where when you log into Spotify, it would give you a little fun fact about your Wrapped and your listening this year. Like, for me, I got one that said, you were in the first 2% to listen to 360 by Charlie XCX. Well, that's a cool fun fact. Why isn't it in my Wrapped? It's just like a promo thing that they give you at random to promote clicking on it to go to your Wrapped. But then that fun fact is not in your Wrapped. How many fun facts are you hiding here? Do I have to log in to see them all? How do I access them after they go away? It just feels harder to share and keep track of data that they do seem to have, but they're kind of gatekeeping in this weird way. Also within the Wrapped, they were heavily pushing these AI features as part of it. The big one was they said they made a podcast about your Wrapped. And I feel like this is the root of the problem, as many people have gathered. This year they seem to really heavily rely on AI technology, and it totally backfired in all of the ways that AI is just not great. I did not click on the podcast thingy because I thought it was just so gross and I didn't care. I'm like, why would I want to listen to a fake podcast about my listening this year? Like, they just are gonna regurgitate the things I'm seeing. See, I just opened Spotify and went to my Wrapped, and I got another fun fact about my audiobook listening this year, and it says my top genre was biography and memoir, and my longest reads were Over the Influence and You Can't Have It All. I just used Spotify to listen to memoirs. It's just so weird. Like, where was that fact when I was looking at my Wrapped originally? I'm gonna try live this podcast thing and see what the vibe is, because it just put me off. I didn't even want to click on it, but just for the sake of the video, because I'm curious and I want to be informed. It's 4 minutes, 51 seconds. It is like a collab with a Google AI tool of some sort.
Yes, we're here to unwrap your year in music.
That's pretty amazing. Clearly you know what you like.
Yeah.
All right, let's
There was
jump
like
right
a glitch in the AI. It was
Your
like,
top
clearly.
song, Your most played song of 2024 is Supernatural by Ariana Grande.
I called it in
I
my
have a feeling
main pop.
this song was a big part of your year.
It's like
absolutely.
glitching. It's like
You were
this
an
song,
early
this
adopter,
song.
weren't you? You're in the top 0.03% of Supernatural listeners globally. That's
Yeah,
some
I
of the
know.
artists
No
you
one
really
likes the
connect
song but
with.
me.
Your top artist for 2024 is Charlie XCX.
2013 minutes.
Why do they give data about your minutes also? Like, what does that even mean? We don't live life in minutes. You gotta say days, you gotta say hours, you gotta say months. Like, that data means something to people.
You know, Charlie XCX, for music, it's this like really cool blend of like art pop and experimental sounds.
Yeah. It's definitely
Art pop? Did he say
it's
art
definitely not
pop?
your typical pop music.
Her art pop could mean anything.
I mean, I think so, yeah. You definitely appreciate a good blend of art and experimental sounds, and your taste in music, it reflects that.
Let's take a trip down memory lane and see how your taste evolved throughout the year, shall we?
All right.
So February was a vibrant month for you.
I like how, I hate that, actually. It's dystopian. Like, they're like fake laughing. Like, why is the AI laughing?
Throughout the year, shall we?
All right.
So February.
What is it laughing at?
I Guess High and Story.
Oh, yeah.
Both really great tracks. And also Memories of You by Slater.
Charlie XCX in the
Charlie
Yeah.
XCX.
and Calvin Harris, acceptable in the 80s.
Oh my gosh, that is such a good song. Those songs
Wait.
all have this really, really nostalgic
Acceptable in the
feel to them,
80s?
but
I didn't
still
listen to
with
that.
those like irresistible dance beats.
It really does feel like the perfect soundtrack for like a summer barbecue or something like that.
Yes.
Ew,
Okay, then June
I hate
comes along,
summer.
and things take a bit of
meat.
a turn.
But we also saw Tu Velu entering the theme.
Oh yeah, great addition.
Oh my god, they
And
said
of course, the
Tuvalu
love for
right.
Dua
That's
Lipa
creepy.
and Kylie Minogue remains strong.
That must have been such a fun day, like just like discovering all these different sounds.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Charlie XCX drops her album Brat in Bed, and it's completely different,
Brat in
but
bed?
also still Brat.
And of course
Oh.
you were there.
You were there, ready to unwrap
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That really, I think that really cemented her place.
From, those high energy dance pop anthems to something something a little bit moodier, a little more introspective.
Yeah, your taste is so diverse, it's so exciting.
It's
We're
really not
visiting
diverse
from
at
Google's
all.
Notebook LM,
Yes.
and we can't wait to see what musical adventures 2025 brings you.
Okay, that was creepy. That was so creepy. Like, pay me $2 and I will record this for you. Like, do I need to get on Cameo and be like, you listen to Ariana Grande Soleil in August. Good for you, girl. I love that. Okay, like, anyone can do that. Ask your friend to do that. Like, it's so bizarre. What have we come to? What have we come to? And it's so inaccurate. That's the thing. It's like, this is my problems with AI, and people are always talking about like, oh my god, AI is gonna take over, robot overlords, and they're gonna be the superior race and all this, and I'm like, AI can't even fucking aggregate results on Google without errors, like, or draw the correct number of legs on an animal. What are we afraid of? Like, what we should be afraid of is these dumb soulless corporations just cutting jobs and thinking this is a good enough product for us that are paying good money for it. Just cutting costs and giving us a shittier product with it, which is just kind of like the name of the game these last couple years post-COVID. I feel like in every industry, it's just like quality gone way down and price just keeps going up. But I also just don't like it because I always get a shitty product that I have to review anyway. Like if it's something like a text generator that I don't ask for, it's just on my Google, on my operating systems, whatever. I can't get an accurate, reliable answer because I know it's riddled with errors. And within whatever answer it's giving me, there's like contradictions, or if it's a picture, it's all fucked up in some way or it doesn't make sense. And also with like images, I just hate it. It has such a look to it that I just really hate, and I feel like it's very clear. I mean, there are some things that can fool you at a glance, especially, but like it just has this weird glossy thing. Like the Coca-Cola commercial is the perfect example. And also, someone had to be there like looking at every frame, making sure there was the right amount of legs and the right like perspective or wheels on a car, whatever it is. It doesn't absolve the need for human QC, and that's what annoys me so much about AI. It feels like you end up doing the same amount of work in the end if you are actually trying to make a product without a bunch of errors. Like you have to put in all this time to like check it, review it, edit it to make it fully correct. You might as well have done the thing, like written the paragraph in the first place yourself, or drawn the picture, or commissioned an artist to draw the picture. It's just I hate the AI crap, and I hate the questions of like, it's so good, it's gonna take over. Like, bitch, where? Point me to the intelligence in artificial intelligence, because I have yet to see it. Mama, this is garbage. This is garbage. The Spotify thing is just the latest example. Like, it tells me May was your indie sleaze mashup dance. What? And then June was my vampire synthesizer pop moment. I don't like indie sleaze. I don't listen to any indie music, so whatever the fuck that means. And also mashups, like I listen to mashups on SoundCloud and stuff, but not on Spotify. I don't even know I don't listen to mashups on Spotify. So this is just absolute nonsense, gibberish, word salad. So anyway, I'm gonna link some articles in the description that talk about this phenomenon and the reaction to Wrapped this year. The main theory that everyone is speculating is that there were massive layoffs at Spotify about a year ago, around the time Wrapped last year came out, of 1,500 employees. And it sounds like there were 800 more employees laid off like earlier in 2023. And I feel like you can really tell. I've heard that people from the Wrapped team were included in those layoffs. You can tell there's just no human touch. Like, what is that podcast? I still can't get over that podcast. That is so disturbing because it's just like feigning humanity, but like, huh? Like, just listen to actual podcasters. There's like a billion of them. Like, everyone's a fucking podcaster. So if you're here, honestly, thank you for supporting a human being. Like, I don't know. I could have recorded that podcast easy peasy. What they did with this is what I did last year with my friends' Spotify Wraps and the few people that sent me their Wraps on live stream. Oh, I can't with this. So yeah, these layoffs I think are really showing, and it's clear they thought AI could replace humans, but as we are learning time and time again, AI is not replacing humans. It's a shittier product. You need the humans to have a decent product, at least QCing, and you need creatives also that are higher up that have vision for things and have a sense of like the pulse of culture right now, all of these things. And that's not to say like AI has been a part of Spotify for a really long time. Like, Spotify has always auto-generated playlists for users, and I feel like a lot of people take advantage of that. But I feel like in the last year or so, the AI is just like thrown in our faces. Like, I've been hearing a lot more complaints from users saying like Spotify is pushing certain songs. Like, no matter what playlist you start, it 3 songs later, it ends up on Sabrina Carpenter or whatever. Also, in 2023, they rolled out DJ and I have heard it becoming more popular this year. And DJ is apparently a feature. I had not heard of it because I listen in a very specific way to music. Like, I just make a playlist of my current songs that I like and I just listen to it on repeat, and I discover new music through a couple of like curated playlists on Spotify that I check up on now and again, and also I keep up with my favorite artist releases, so I'm just kind of listening to the same playlist all the time and like removing songs once I get tired of it and adding songs once I find a song I like. It's not quite the most conventional, it's not very like explorative, but I feel like I have a good sense of new releases and how to find music if I'm feeling like I'm not finding anything new or listening to anything new. But DJ is apparently a feature on Spotify it's kind of like that. I think it does include like fun facts about the song or the artist that it's about to play with like a voice, but it plays like just according to your taste over the years. Also, another thing that became big this year was the day list thing on Spotify, where it generates like a playlist for a certain time of day and it calls it like a kooky title. I feel like it's the predecessor to the kooky genres from Wrapped. That would be like the recession, dance pop, sleazy, princess, Wednesday morning. Those kinds of titles that were really weird and people were like, what does this mean? It's not surprising they brought in that kind of thing for the genre's nonsense. So I don't know, I feel like especially this year, post all these layoffs, the AI has just been thrown into every part of Spotify, and it sounds like them as a company are relying on the AI to do all the work that all these human beings were doing. It's very depressing to me. It's hard, like, I don't know, where do we go from here? Because for me, I find it hard to like just quit cold turkey Spotify. I've built a whole algorithm and I've built my playlists on there, and it's just easy to share with friends, collaborate, whatever. There's a lot of good things about Spotify, but at the same time, I don't like that I'm supporting these choices. The most bare minimum thing I do is that I don't use these features. I don't use the day list thing. I don't use the DJ I didn't click on the podcast thing until now, just for the research. But that's just because they're not very compatible with the way I listen. For some people, that's very compatible and it helps them go with the mood and get a playlist and not have to think about what songs exactly are playing. Yeah, what are y'all doing if you are against the Spotify Wrapped direction, or just the direction in general that Spotify is going in? Because it's just hard. Like, my whole life feels like it's on Spotify. I think for me, it's less of a direct action, and this is not a perfect answer, but this year especially, I have been really venturing out into being kind of more intentionally involved with music in general. Like, I've been volunteering at my community radio station. I got certified to be able to be a programmer, and so I've gone on the radio a few times and curated music, which is super cool. Also, through that, I have met so many music lovers, like true music lovers, and have just learned so much about genre, learned so much about artists, eras of music, all kinds of things. I've also joined some like groups and organizations centered around music and music appreciation, and I've met a lot of DJs at different levels. Some are totally professional, some are more starting out like I am with DJing, and I feel like investing my energy into these communities has just naturally drawn me away from Spotify and listening as much on Spotify. In exchange, I've opted for more live music experiences, listening to my own CDs and media, practicing DJing with my own music library, listening to DJs play within my local scene, listening to my radio friends' broadcasts, sharing remixes with new music friends I've made. So I can tell my Spotify Wrapped is more skewed to earlier in the year when I was not involved in my local music scene. And I'm glad that the data I have seems to reflect a departure from a soulless corporation like Spotify. It's very unfortunate that my dollar is still there and I'm not any different from any other paid Spotify user, so Spotify doesn't know this, but at least spiritually, I feel like I feel a lot more fulfilled musically and like I've explored through these avenues, and I think just being part of these communities and being involved has really expanded my music appreciation more than a Wrapped on Spotify ever could. So it's not a solution for anybody, but I think for me that has been my saving grace, and I'm very grateful for these spaces and the people that are very intense music lovers and have taught me so many new things. I would love to know your thoughts. What if you are taking any action of like dropping Spotify for Apple Music or YouTube or some other provider of music? I would honestly love to hear about it in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I put out new videos whenever I feel like it about TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things. And you can follow me at Miscellaneous to keep up with me, or just turn on the bell notification here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!